you can go to the stage where, beyond that, where people will talk to you. And the greatest of all gifts is when a spirit will stand at the side and to you feel as warm as you and I, and that's built up by ectoplasm. There are very, very few who do this, and there are more of those today in the world. Very, very rare gift. And the problem is
so a spirit manifests next to you, yeah. and not only you in connection with them can see them, but actually, you know, the other people in the room can see that manifestation as well. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, generally, what the medium would be, shall we say, not here. So basically, the medium vacates himself, and the spirit takes over. Right. So that's where my teacher used to go into trance when he first sat, when he was a young boy, and he knew nothing about it. So, you know, he was nosy like I knew.
So I can understand. I can understand how I suppose you could appear different in that. You know, it might be the light or the circumstances or that kind of thing, but for you to, you know, as a 64-year-old white man to then become black or to be, you know, to be manifested as a woman or something like
Chinese.
That, or Chinese or something like that would, you know, that's I don't know why I find that more difficult to believe than the whole kind of afterlife connection. I don't know why, but that just feels like another leap of faith is required, you know, for that.
Yeah, well, I think to see it, there are examples of it happening, but also obviously the spirit is coming over, the energy is coming over, and trance work is nothing that I've delved greatly and deeply into. My teacher used to say, I could be a trance medium, but the problem is I'm too inquisitive, so I'm usually awake and seeing what's going off. But also the fact is there are very few, and again, if you go back to the Victorian Edwardian times, where the people have been charlatans, and there was one in the I think it would be the mid-80s, somebody was going around, and there's a thing called apport. It's when you bring a product or something. This particular person brought flowers from one place to another. You can't take them from the spirit world, and you'd be sitting there in the darkness holding hands, and suddenly these flowers would appear, and they thought it was amazing that outside the house, and this was January, there was roses. Now we're going to step back a little bit, but I was in the floristry and fruit trade at that time, and I knew I could go down the fruit market every morning and get fresh roses. Now we can see them all the time in this country now.
Just flown in, aren't they?
Yeah, but nowadays, and this person said when he was exposed, we were going to come back. Well, it's now 2011, he hasn't come back yet. And the problem is, it's the ones who are not genuine who cause the problems. But what it is, it's a spirit world wanting to pass more information over to people. And I have seen and been given information that's been genuine, but I've seen people myself. I saw a person in Nottingham, and they always have to do heavy breathing.
Yeah.
And then talking a funny Chinese accent. Oh, good evening. I come to you from world of light.
So what is it? A Chinese man with asthma?
Well, it seemed like that, because as I've been to China, I never heard anybody speak like that. And you could ask questions, and I ask a simple question from the back: how does the energy levels change from one field in the spirit to the world of this world?
Yeah.
And the answer was so simple. It's a natural process, but she had no idea.
Do you know what I find the funniest is when you know, like they do that Chinese one or something like that, and supposedly sort of channel or trance through somebody in Chinese, and they're speaking English but with a Chinese accent.
But it does make it look rather silly, doesn't it? You know, I think this is the common sense goes out the window. But there is wonderful information beyond that.
If I was to try and pin you down on this, I sense that you believe in aspects of it, but equally embarrassed is the wrong word, but you sort of veer away from it because it's a little bit over sensationalist and harder to believe for, you know, the vast majority of ordinary people that you deal with on a day-by-day basis. Is that fair to say?
Yes, because, you know, because again, the ones that I've seen who make out they're in trance, and I once remember one where somebody came back in trance on a television programme, and sadly as it is, but she said, we have difficulty because we don't have legs in the spirit world. I thought, how ridiculous.
They haven't got any legs?
They don't have any legs. It's you know, it is silly. And this silliness does make me feel a little embarrassed, because there are genuine ones. You know, as I say, it could be in the middle of Afghanistan, it could be in some distant country that we don't know, and I know that it's well been received in places in Africa, in South America, in the Native American Indians, where they were so close because they live in a spiritual environment in a material setting, and what then they're using it for the right purpose. Now over here it's used for, it could be self-delusional, it could be for money, it could be what, but
salacious entertainment, you know.
Yeah, but for the one good one we have all these other people, and we live in a world of love. And you know, this night the people was asking questions about this, the answer was, a very difficult question. And so I thought I don't know about a spiritualist, a trans medium. This person should have been a politician, because she never answered the questions. So she's in the wrong setting. But I do find it a little embarrassing. I feel it off-putting, because there are many people within the gift, great or small, bright or dimmer, it doesn't matter, but we're all trying to work to the furtherance of knowledge and the taking away of fear. But if we have people like that, it pushes us back. I suppose it's like trying to run or sprint into a gale. It holds us back. And I think what we have for the genuine ones, it's wonderful, and the people who see it is absolutely fantastic.
Stephen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Green.